Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First, let me introduce myself. My name is bimo, swastika, pangestu, and today I will fulfill my final exam to present my research paper that I made. Title is An Analysis of Language Learning Strategies in Speaking Skill. Second semester students of English Education Department. So let's begin with the chapter 1. In learning English, speaking is one of the most important parts and four skills that should be mastered by the student besides reading, writing, and listening. It needs to be noted that speaking holds a very significant place in foreign language learning through speech messages are conveyed, whereas speaking is the most important skill. The students often have difficulties in learning speaking since English is not their first language. uh, that speaking requires students not only for to realize how to produce specific purpose of language, for examples like pronunciation, grammar, or vocabulary, but also to understand when, why, and in what ways to produce the language. So let's begin to the formulate of the problem. First is what language learning strategy in speaking do the student most commonly use? Second is how the student's language learning strategy reflected in speaking activity. Then going to the okay, going to the objectivities of the research. The formulation of the problem above. The researcher formulated the objective of the research as followed. First is to find out the learning strategy and speaking skill that used by the student of the first semester in the Department of English Education. Second is to find out the reflected language learning strategy and speaking activity of the first semester student in the Department of English Education. Next. Okay, we continue with the second chapter, literature review. Well, the definition of speaking. Speaking is the ability to express thought, opinion, and feeling to other people orally. Uh, it needs to be noted that speaking holds a very significant place in foreign language learning through speech messages are conveyed, mentioned before in chapter 1. But according to Mark, speaking is a productive oral skill which consists of constructing systematic verbal patterns to convey meaning. Next, we talk about the learning strategy definition. The strategy is very important since the student learn a second language. State that the word strategy comes from the ancient Greek word strategy, which means steps or action taken for the purpose of winning a war. Okay, but related word and tactic, which are tools to achieve the success of strategy. A given strategy is neither good nor bad. It's basically neutral until the context of its use is totally taught. Next, we talk about the definition of language learning strategy. All students use language learning strategy in their learning process. Language learning strategy are specific action or technique that students use often intentionally to improve their progress in developing L2 skill. From many different strategies, there are many options from which learners conclusionally select in order to optimize their change of success in achieving their goals in learning and using the language. Therefore, language learning strategies are basis to success in learning a new language. State that learning strategies are specific thought of behavior that individually use to help them comprehend and learn or retain new information. And then next, we're going to the chapter 3, research methodology. We begin to the research design. This research design employed a qualitative method, particularly case study, to be an appropriate method for this research. Creswell stated that qualitative research is an approach for exploring and understanding the meaning individually or group to a social or human problem. In addition, state that case studies are design of inquiry found in many fields, especially evaluation in which the researcher develops an in-depth analysis of a case, often a program, event, activity, process, or one or more individual. Uh, Going to the subject of the research. The research was conducted in second semester in speaking class at University of SULTAN. Next, let's begin to the instrument. First is the questionnaire. The questionnaire was adapted, employed for this study that adapted from Sriwahyuni, which adapted the questionnaire from the Survey Inventory Language Learning or SILI version 7.0. The form and content of the seal are consist of 37 statements. We're going to the observation. The observation checklist adapted from the strategy inventory for language learning. The sheet consists of 5 aspects trying to reveal the reflection of language learning strategy during speaking English. Speaking activity. Next, in this, going to the interview. Uh, in this study of this research, the researcher also conducted an interview by using the interview guide adapted from Sriwahyuni. From that matter, the voice recording was used while the interview took place for reviewing the protocol that was missed by the researcher. The researcher only asked 10 questions for some students with the highest, middle, and lowest level of using strategy in speaking skill. Next, we're going to the research simulation. About 2006, find that simulation is the most commonly used way to increase the validity of data in qualitative research. To increase the validity of the data and get clear conclusion, researcher will use questionnaire, observation, and interview. Uh, Going on to the data collection, uh, going to the data collecting technique. Data analysis in this study was conducted over the course of the study. There are two types of the data that was employed in this study. There were quantitative and qualitative data. Quantitative data present through descriptive statistics to collect the data from a class's responses. Questionnaire as processed by Higham and Crocker. That various analytical techniques are used to analyze the data. There could include quantitative analysis using descriptive statistics, as well as qualitative approach that identify key categories, themes, and concepts. Other than that, qualitative data was gained from observation and review to find out the reflection of language learning strategy and speaking classroom activity. Well, I think that's enough. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for your time.